Well, hello, everyone. My name is Shekhemu, and I am a member of the Auset Society here in Chicago, and I've been a member since 1980, so that's 42 years. Today, we're going to be talking about a video that was put out in response to a couple that left the Auset Society. But today, I'm joined by some fellow Shekhemu members, as well as one of our long-standing members. You know, as a Shekhemu member for the majority of the time that I've been in, the Auset Society here in Chicago as one of the leaders of our community, I, along with many of the other Shekhemu, have involved ourselves in teaching, various classes that we teach throughout the years in Auset. We've counseled our membership as well as counseling for the general public, many times that being even free of charge. And our average age of our Shekhemu body is, I think, 62 years old, and most people have been in the Shekhemu position anywhere from 40 to 49 years. So that really makes us elders in our, spiritual community. So today we're here to talk about a couple that recently left the Auset Society claiming that we were corrupt and a dark place. And we will learn from the different discussions that we're going to have that the allegation was supposedly supported by a host of allegations that were presented without facts and were presented without evidence. It's important to remember that when people allege that others have wronged them, but they fail to give evidence, it's because they don't have any evidence. And in doing so, they deny the accused the ability to defend themselves, as there are no concrete specific details to refute. And there's no court in the law of the land in this country that would allow such conduct. If, for example, you're going to accuse somebody that they're a thief, then you must give concrete details and facts regarding what was stolen, where it was stolen, when it was stolen. Otherwise, the police, let alone a judge or a jury, wouldn't give it a second worth of anybody's attention. So with that in mind, people that go around making baseless allegations cannot be held to be credible. And given that credibility is based on evidence and facts, we're going to examine their credibility, starting with the most egregious allegation that was made. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Shekhemu.
Yeah, my name is Shekhemu Miraman. I am the chief spokesperson for Auset Society and for our leader, spiritual leader, Shekhemu Rana Farman I. I have been in Auset for over 31 years. I've been a member of the Shekhemu body for 30 years. And it's kind of interesting, just following up on what Shekhemu said. This young couple was so bent on defaming our spiritual leader and me that they reached way back into the occult to try to find some kind of evidence for the most incredible allegation. The young man in his second video narrated that his son wasn't doing well health-wise, and somehow he saw some kind of dark spot or blog on the baby, something of that sort. And in staring into it, he saw my face and the face of our spiritual leader, Rana Farman. He interpreted this to mean that we were psychically attacking his child. First of all, no one in the world can give the history of a Auset society doing that sort of thing in its 49 years of existence. We don't practice, teach, condone, or even talk about anything of that nature. He's clearly making a desperate attempt to sort of besmirch our character by portraying us as the worst form of criminals. Because if you are going to claim that someone is going to psychically attack your child, you are basically saying that that person is criminal. It is obvious that he thought that this evidence was irrefutable, but it turned out to be just a baseless allegation. Because after he claimed that he saw our faces in this dark spot on his child's body, wherever it was, he brought that very child to my wife for her to babysit. Who would take their child to a place where they know that someone is doing something illicit to harm that child, or criminal even to harm that child? You know, I'm 67 years old, and I've been immersed in spiritual culture for quite a while in the African American community. And I've never heard of anyone in any of the groups that I've been involved with doing such a bastardly or incredulous act against someone else. So obviously, he was reaching, and just claiming that you see someone's face in a vision doesn't make that person a criminal. So, you know, we can't go too much into anything because he doesn't have any evidence to support what he's saying. So I would, Shekhemu, I would just give it back to you.
Okay. And the couple didn't limit themselves to defaming Shekhemu, our spiritual leader, and Shekhemu Bakenti, his spokesperson. They made similar accusations and allegations about the young men of our New York chapter. He alleges that they attacked him psychically. That manifested in him having headaches. As I can't speak for the latter, I can speak about the fact that in the 49 years we've been in business as a spiritual community, there have been no psychical attacks on anyone. And that's something that we just don't practice willingly or, you know, unwillingly, unconsciously. True to form, he makes his allegations in the form of, again, generalizations. And to be credible, he needs to call out the specific individuals and describe what and how and why they took the actions that he claims that they took. Somewhere in his video, he says that they were jealous of him, putting aside the fact that we don't indulge in jealousy, you know, as per our spiritual training, you know, Sarah said. The fact is that there is nothing that he has that would trigger jealousy in anyone, especially to such heights that they would want to attack him. The same basis allegation was made against the male Shekhemu, the male chiefs in our society, the elders. He said that they lusted after his wife. For credibility's sake, he needed to call the persons out and describe the form and the way that they displayed this alleged lust. He cannot hide behind the claim that he was protecting them. He's already said the worst about Shekhemu and Shekhemu Bakenti, our spiritual leader and his spokesperson. When you attempt to get away with defaming someone, making allegations that are devoid of facts and evidence, you're doing this because you know that we live in a society where many people, they just accept sound bites as facts. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Shekhemu Mayor.
Ma'atefa.
Matefa.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So-
my right.
Okay, that's fine. Greetings, everyone. My name is Ma'at Tefa. You know, I'm just going to start with this. I grew up in Long Island with my best friends in the Bronx. And in the Black neighborhood, sisterly love was not a thing. You know, I was really introduced to the experience of cultivating those strong sisterly bonds when I joined the CSET 12 years ago. You know, and the society as a whole, we have a culture, where many of the women, we become like unofficial doulas following the birth of a child. When a woman has a baby, we cook, we clean, we decorate, we hold events, and we do meditations. All of this is to support the family and their new addition. And for the most part, I cannot speak on behalf of everyone. But in Shrima Su's case specifically, 10 of us got together following the birth of her child to support her for about 2 months. We cooked, we supported. One sister, went above and beyond, some, cooked more than others. Another sister came and fully professionally decorated her home for the baby shower. I mean, it was beautiful. And I have to say, this is not obligatory. It's not a community rule. We all genuinely did this out of love as true friends and fellows to support this new family, and we did all of this in despite of being in the height of a pandemic, so we are welcoming, we were welcoming, we were supportive, and that's all I have to say. I'm going to take this, Shekhemu, you can take it over.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Shekhemu Ayakut Amare, and I am one of the female chiefs in the Auset Society. In keeping with the theme of the young lady's experiences as a woman in Auset, there is a need to address her allegation that the society is not a safe place for women. That allegation conjures up nefarious images. This time, she supports her allegations with concrete facts. But as we will see, they are half-truths, which are even worse than having no evidence at all. First, let's begin with the fact that thousands of people can attest to, in the 49 years of the Auset Society's existence, with chapters in many cities in the United States and around the world, no one, let me repeat, no one, no woman, no child, no man has been harmed by anyone. No assaults, no fights, no public nasty altercations in the society. We are not better than others. We just work hard at living the 11 laws of Ma'at. The half-truth that she gave to support her allegation for the lack of safety for women concerned an experience that she and 7 other women, including a queen mother and 3 other women in the spiritual leader's family, went through. In her video, she claimed that the women were put in danger by the periodic delusions of a mentally ill member. At the time, the individual was about 12 years into his illness, yet had been granted membership. Many, if not most mentally ill people are prejudicially stigmatized as dangerous people, contrary to medical statistics. Their best chance for slowing down and checking the progress of their illness is acceptance into a group that understand their illness and a group that responds with compassion and empathy. A close eye was always kept on him, hospitalizing him when needed, and at times society members cooked for him and brought the food to the hospital. The Shekhemu and other brothers in the society did qigong with him, and he was given money to purchase his supplements. There came a time when his delusions made many members uncomfortable, yet he was never threatening to anyone. As a child, he attended the society school and attended at least 15 of the society's retreats and posed no danger to the retreaters that numbered upward of 500 attendees, men, women, and children. Roaming through a forest park at all hours of the day and night. This fact dovetails with the documentation by the medical profession that the particular type of illness of this individual does not make them violent or dangerous. There was never a need or justification to call law enforcement on his conduct, which never rose to the threshold of criminality. To this day, he has never had a criminal encounter with anyone, anywhere. Our approach with empathy and compassion eventually resulted in the cessation of his delusional behavior towards the women to this day. As it is with these illnesses, he has not been healed, but we are proud of the higher road taken by our members to help the more afflicted of us. They are the victims of their illness, not us. And now I will turn this over to Shekhemu Sanyaku Sheps Amare.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shekhemu Sanyaku Sheps Amare from our New York HESP and our Orlando study group in Florida. The Auset Society included the I Ching system into its spiritual foundation. This book is 3,000 years old and is thought of by most as a divination, as a objective divination system. Deep study and a lot of application of his teaching reveals that it's a phenomenal tool to provide spiritual guidance in things, spiritual directions to achieve social harmony, good health, personal success. Being taught this, the couple shared over 30 I Ching readings to support their allegations. Unfortunately for them, they lack the ability and the training to properly understand the system. Otherwise, if they did, they would have desisted from the actions that they took with their videos. It's our practice not to, reveal readings that don't concern others, but when a person makes a reading public for the sake of oracular sanction for defaming others, then the victim has a right, of course, to properly explain the readings in question for their defense. No, we're not going over all 30 readings here, but just 2. The young man queried the I Ching if the Shekhemu Shechem should be or remain his spiritual counselor. Good question. He received the 45th hexagram, the first line moved, changing into the 17th hexagram. This response only requires a 10th grade reading comprehension, unlike others that require like a doctorate in spiritual science. The line of the 45th hexagram is a resounding yes. It's called gathering together. The secondary hexagram, the 17th hexagram, spells out that a young person is advised to joyfully follow an older and more experienced person. A spiritual reading very often covers more than the question that was asked. A spiritual reading will not tell you to follow a spiritual leader if he or she is guilty of psychically attacking your child, or chasing after your wife, or insulting you, and so on. Then the spiritual reading system would be contradicting itself. The next reading we will examine was a question posed on leaving the Auset society. Good question. They received the 4th hexagram. The secondary hexagram was the 35th hexagram. The key part of that reading was the 5th hexagram, which is the complement of the 35th hexagram. It's a resounding statement that says, no, wait and nourish yourself with truth. That's the name of that reading, waiting. So here their own reading is telling them that they need to nourish themselves on truth. Why? The answer to that is line 4 of the 4th hexagram. The Wilhelm text speaks the clearest to this question. The subject of the reading is, and I quote, it says, the subject is entangled in empty imaginings and obstinately clings to unreal fantasies that will bring humiliation. The statement goes directly to the host of the baseless allegations that they have made. I will end that here.
I want to thank my fellow Shekhemu and members of the Auset Society for bringing clarification to this subject. And say that we all wish the couple, the family, peace, love, and joy, and we want only your well-being. Thank you.